All right, I'm going to have a go at the Guardian's Cryptic Crossword for Friday, February 7th, set by Paul. Oh no, I had a terrible time with Paul last time out. Hopefully, he or I are in better form today. One across, blight form. Must be a double definition. And the first word I thought of was mold. I suppose mold could be blight. And if you mold something, you form it. Oh, I do like the grid pattern. Let's try for which roux trains when cooking. I think is there a chef called roux? Or is it something you cook? Is it something like a reduction, a roux, or a roux sauce? Um, 12 letters, for which roux has 12. Oh, but it doesn't have an M. And it would be unlikely, excuse me, unlikely fodder for an anagram. Anyway, so maybe it's just a cryptic definition. Oh, if it is just cryptic, I wonder if it's a Michelin star. Yeah, I think that must be what it is. I don't know, am I missing something? It doesn't seem like a great clue. Maybe there's something else on the surface that I'm missing. Yeah, well, I'll leave it in. We'll see if it's right. A nice turn that's high up in the air. Well, high, any word that means drunk or crazy, I think can indicate an anagram. And since we have a U, I think it may be an anagram of a nice turn for up in the air. Oh, I wonder if it could be up in the air as in undecided, un. I'm not saying the anagram. Yeah, I think I'll wait to get another letter or two for that. The inevitable Schadenfreude at house arrests. Well, if you break it at the inevitable, I suppose death would be the inevitable, and Schadenfreude at house arrests or surrounds that word. Ooh, well, let's try this one. Looks interesting. Wake up call, cross party talks. Well, I'm thinking wake up call might be cock-a-doodle doo. So a barnyard wake up call. I do have a funny story that reminds me of. At some point with my friends, we decided we'd have a competition to see who could get a letter printed in, oh, I can't remember now if it was Dear Abby or Ann Landers. And around the same time, someone gave me an alarm clock in the shape of a chicken that would go cock-a-doodle-doo every morning. And it was so annoying. As luck would have it, Dear Abby had a letter from someone saying they had one of these clocks and how much they loved it. And she said, "Oh, that sounds really wonderful. I wish I had one of those." So I sent it off to her with a letter saying how much I hated it. She printed it, and for the price of a clock I didn't like anyway, I got a letter printed in Dear Abby, and I won the contest. So that's my cock-a-doodle-doo story. All right, so now uncertain, I suppose. Yeah, there we go. Let's try discrimination, therefore, involves 1,000 people. Discrimination, I suppose, is the definition, which there's a good kind of discrimination, as in a discriminating taste. Or maybe it's people. Is it something like earthlings? But I'm thinking involves 1,000 is going to be wordplay where we're going to put in AG, or I think maybe more AM. Therefore might be ergo. Yeah, I'm just not seeing that one. Oh, I skipped over 4. Where milk once regularly placed with piece of bread. That's a good one too. Well, regularly suggests we're going to take every other letter out of, it's going to be out of placed. Yeah, maybe regularly placed then with a word for, or just part of the word bread, and it's going to be where milk once, like an archaic word for a dairy or something. No, I don't see it. Range from arc, ultimately covered by dove. No, that's a good clue though, but I don't see it. Funny serial about shaving people from behind. Very prickly. That's classic Paul there. I'm thinking funny serial might be an anagram of serial, and then it goes around shaving people, or maybe that's the word people and shaving some of the outer letters from it. And it's going to mean very prickly. I'm thinking about irascible, I think would mean prickly. So we do have cereal, and then we have CIB. Ah, the shaving people are Bic, makers of Bic razors. My father was a great lover of the Bic razors, and they are from behind, written backwards. That's clever. All right, Arabian Peninsula city, Arabs rebuilt. So it must be an anagram of Arabs. Ah, yes, and so Basra. Bright boy speaking up. Is it going to mean bright? Let me pause and ponder that. Ah, well, I thought of today as a bright day here in Texas. It is sunny, which is a homophone for SONNY, a boy, sunny. Speaking up, indicating the homophone. Let me go back to the Downs. Muck in B-Day, more Paul. Soon spattered about. Oh my goodness. I do like when it's a phrase, though. I always think they're a little bit easier. Is it going to be spattered about? In one's, on one's, something. Yeah. Of course, no, B-Day's soon. Yeah, I think it must be an anagram of B-Day's soon spattered about, anagrammed, and it's going to be muck. But it's funny. What a 3-word phrase is going to mean muck? Oh, muck in is the definition now. That, yeah, because I just thought of do one's bit. Yep, I like that. How about CAC, or a C underscore A underscore C underscore? I think this is going to be a very clever one, but I'm not seeing it. What word I know it's probably not a word, a 6-letter word, but what word would? Oh, chance. Yes, I think chance would fit, and we only get the odd letters of chance. I think that's how that is working, but we'll take a peek at 15 squared. All right, that's where milk once regularly placed with a piece of bread. Let me pause. No, still not getting it. How about get large, drink, and experience its effect? Wow. Get large, maybe like grow or elver, large. Oh, I just thought of one experience of too much to drink might be that you see double. I think, oh, if you get something, you see it, I think. Oh, yeah, and then a large drink is a double. And if you experience the effect, you see double. All right. Still don't get that. Yeah, I don't think it's the regular letters of anything there. I don't see how that would work. All right, digital reference. Nothing in Japanese city coming up. Digital reference, I think maybe something like an e-book. Yeah, so I think the nothing is an O, which is I think the Japanese city is Kobe, which is coming up, are reversed. Yeah, I'm gonna have to come back to 4 across. Oh, and my discrimination, therefore, no. And my range from, oh, well, the arc ultimately, of course, is the K. And that's going to be covered maybe for a word that means dove or dove, maybe the past tense of to dive. And it's going to mean range. Now, there's an awful lot of, yeah, oh, I'm thinking of a cooker could be a range. And I have a feeling there might be a bird called a coker. Maybe it's more of a pigeon, and that's why we have a question mark. Let me look that up. Oh, what am I thinking of? Why did I think coker was left behind? Of course, the K came from ark, so it's cooer, and of course it's a dove. Good Lord. All right, let's try moving left and right with angularity, one way, then another and back. Wow. Where's the definition? I presume moving left and right. Angularity, sharpness or something. One way might be I for one and ST for street. Then another and back. That sounds like wordplay, I think, but it could be the definition. Content to leave early in matches with East Asian once. All right, so we've seen similar things before where instead of it being content to leave, it's the content leaves the word early. So I think that leaves EY, and we have the Y there, so I think it's there. And it's going to go inside a word for matches. I'm thinking it's an East Asian ones. I think it's the old word for a Sri Lankan when they were Ceylon. Was it Ceylonian? So matches. Oh, and East. While maybe Ceylon, Sri Lanka is in East Asia, maybe that's part of the wordplay. Yeah, maybe we have, it's a Ceylonite. Yeah, I'm not exactly sure how that one is going to end. I'm going to leave that in for the moment, but we'll come back to it. I think it's probably wrong. 10 wheels came down on public transport. I'm wondering if 10 wheels is telling us to anagram 10, and it's maybe ENT, and then came down on. I'm thinking of the word entertain, maybe to transport somebody, maybe the way a good film can transport you, entertain, but I don't think it's exactly the same meaning. Come back to that one. Thin piece, that's served up. I finish off in bites. Thin might be slim, slender, slice. That's might be that is served up, might be IE becoming EI. And then I finish off I end. No. Hanging head in embarrassment, going places earlier. No. All right. Chaining cycle, punctured tire on it. Well, I'm thinking the definition is chaining. Cycle, as we saw just this week, can be cycling letters in a word from the end to the beginning. Punctured tire on it. No, line in a report that's out. All right, I think that's out is the definition somehow, but it's a very vague definition. But I think we're going to put L for line inside of A we have, and then a word for report. Yeah, where's the L going to go? Let me pause. All right, March, slightly lacking in recollection of spring for comparison. Maybe for comparison is the definition. March, slightly lacking, might be MARC, and that goes in recollection of spring, maybe a word for spring backwards. Or recollection, of course, could also be an anagram indicator. For comparison, no. Jazz Age Superstar, Wild Thing Masking Pain, She Be Dancing. Well, she be dancing is such a strange phraseology. That has to indicate we anagram she be. And then I'm wondering if wild thing masking pain, some kind of wild animal goes around a word for pain. So I think the definition must be a jazz age superstar, but is it going to be a musician or just one of the famous people of the jazz age? Let me pause and think about people. They're going to have a very long first name and then a short last name that might be an anagram of she be. No, I'm not getting it other than wild thing might be saying to anagram thing, and then pain she be, I think, has the right number of remaining letters, yeah. So it could be just an anagram of thing, pain she be. But I couldn't see any good last names. I did see Hines, as in Earl Father Hines. But yeah, I couldn't see any other like good first names. Anyway, we'll come back to it. Plant saving fuel. Plant saving fuel. Oh, that's brilliant. So obviously one of those is wordplay, and I think a word for plant has to save or go around a fuel. Although what if the other one is definition? What does plant saving fuel mean? I could understand a fuel saving plant. And what is the fuel that's going to go inside? No, great clue, but I don't get it. All right, Scruffy Legion fed gruel primarily. Well, primarily we know from Everyman's weekly crossword could mean we take the first letters, but yeah, that's I don't know how this is going to work. Maybe just gruel primarily is a G, and maybe a four-letter word for legion is fed a G, and it ends up meaning scruffy. What's a word for legion? What's another word for scruffy with a G in it? Ragged, raggy, scraggy. No, don't see it. Oh, I looked at that one. I looked at that one too. Hanging head and embarrassment, going places earlier. No. Salt, pocketing, black book. Well, salt, of course, NaCl, but it can also be a sea salt, a sailor. I presume we put a B for black inside of a word for a sailor, and that's going to be a book. Don't see that. How about still, ruined? Double definition, I suppose. Still as in yet, or still as in stock still. And then ruined. Something like broke. Yeah, I don't see it. All right, well, I did all right in the top half, but I definitely ran out of steam. Let's look again at our moving left and right with angularity, whatever the heck that is, one way, then another, and back. What's it going to... If it begins with a consonant, then I would think it's going to be R-O-A, R-E-A. But it could begin with a vowel, A-R-R-A. I like that. What's moving left and right? Like if you have a fan, what do they call that? Reciprocating or alternating, I suppose. Moving left and right. Oh, zigzagging with angularity. One way. I do like that being IST, but then another and back. No. All right, let me try and get these two up at the top. Let me pause and think about what's going to come second there. Ah, yes, I was just thinking about D-double-O as the beginning, and of course we used to long time ago, but I do remember it well, getting, what am I doing? Getting milk delivered to your doorstep. And then I think a very thick piece of bread maybe can be called a doorstep. I'm not 100% sure of that, but I think that's the explanation of that one. All right, now let me do the same thing here and think about what could come second after the E. Well, the only thing I can think of is going back to my earlier Earthling, but then I thought, well, Earthman perhaps? So maybe the definition is just people. I think discrimination might be ear. You know, you can say someone has a good eye if they're discriminating visually, or a good ear if they are discriminating musically, perhaps. Therefore is then, and it does involve an M for 1,000. So yeah, I'm fairly happy that's that one. All right, so the top is more or less done. If only I can get this moving left and right. I would love to get my Jazz Age superstar. Maybe She Be Dancing is hinting towards. Oh, could it be instead of a particular person, a type of person, excuse me, in the Jazz Age, like a flapper? Or was there some famous theater with dancers that were popular during the Jazz Age? All right, I was paused there and I scanned over all of the remaining ones. And the only one I had a thought on was, can salt be bile? I don't think so. But if bile pocketed B, you would get Bible, which of course is the good book. So I'm a little desperate, so I'm going to go ahead and check that. No. All right, but at least I know, ooh, there is a B. Okay. So that is good to know. So the B for black, I presume, goes there, and then we're going to have another salt. Yeah, again, is it going to be a sailor or not? The B does, though, go along with it being an anagram of she be, not Bessie Smith. Django Bates. Well, maybe it is something Bates. Let me pause and look at that. Well, I wasn't getting anything, and then I remembered that Solonian was just my guess. So I actually looked that up, and Ceylonese was the word. And so I think matches are clones, very close matches, I suppose, with East, E. All right, does that help me at all? It can still be an anagram of thing. Yeah, the masking, if it goes around the outside, then we're going to have at least one letter from thing here. Something being? I don't know. What else does Ceylonese do for me? Not a lot, really, other than my plant-saving fuel. Ah, yes, I have an E now instead of an N, which might be better. Fuel, coal, oil, peat. No. What's this chaining cycle? I looked at it earlier. I think it might be a scientific word for chaining. Yeah, I think I'm going to have to give up and go to wordplays.com for this one and see what 9-letter words we have. No, I couldn't see any words I liked for this, so I think I'm going to go ahead, even though we're not even at the 30-minute mark, I'm going to go ahead and reveal this one. Tethering, chaining. All right. Yeah, I probably should have got that tethering. Cycle. Don't quite get that. Punctured tire, I think, is just tire without the inner letters, and that might be the TE at the beginning, but then cycle puncture. Yeah, I don't get that one at all. All right, well, this one might be entertain. I think, again, just because I'm at that point, I'm going to check entertain. Ah, no. So 10 wheels, I think, is ENT. So it's a better word for transport or transport. Wheels came down on. Public. Is public part of the wordplay or part of the definition? Yeah, I think again I'm just going to go ahead and reveal this one. Sorry, folks. Entrained. I don't, even when I see that answer, I don't get that at all. 10 wheels came down on. Oh, came down on, I think, is rained. Ah, I think the definition is on public transport. I think we may have had this word before in a crossword that if you are on a train, you are entrained. Ah, yeah. Tricky, tricky. All right, let me try the anagram helper just to see if this is an anagram of thing with pain she be, which makes me think of a she bean. Anyway, Jazz Age Superstar. Could it end in ing? With two I's, two H's. Yeah, I'm just not thinking of any Jazz Age Superstar, but I'm not going to give up on this one yet. Ooh, we got another letter for moving left and right, which is, I think, good because obviously there has to be a consonant here. I think that makes it unlikely this is a vowel. Oh no, it could be triangulating or triangulate. Triangulated. Yeah, I wonder if moving left and right is swapping the L and the R in some word. Yeah, but I do like triangul. I think triangulated. Let me check this. Ooh, triangul. Triangularly? What is that? Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and reveal it. Yeah, triangularly moving left. I presume that's the definition, moving left and right with angularity, which is funny. Well, no, that must be part of the wordplay. I don't get that one either. But it does seem a bit of a swizz that angularity is in the definition and angular Yeah, in fact, we have an anagram of angularity plus R and L. Ah, yeah, so that's the wordplay. Moving left and right, moving L and R with the letters of angularity. You get triangularly. I don't like that one. Personal taste, of course. All right, it does mean that our March slightly lacking in recollection of spring for comparison ends in L. Yeah, I can't think how March would be the definition, especially slightly lacking. So I think for comparison, yeah, but I can't think of a word for that. Ooh, our jazzer now ends. Oh, Josephine Baker, of course. Why didn't I think of her? Absolutely a superstar of the jazz age. So how is the wordplay? Oh, I think the wild thing is a joker. So from card games, Joker's Wild, which was also that great program on British television where comedians would tell jokes on a subject. I happened to see one of the old episodes on YouTube recently. I must find some more of those. It was a great show. All right. Are still ruined. Something H. TH. SH. CH. Let me pause and run through the possibilities. Oh, a still, as in a photograph, might be a shot, and your chances are ruined. I suppose they're shot. Very good. Let's see. Our plant saving fuel ends in, I presume, TED. Uh, yeah, I don't see what that could be at all. Our scruffy Legion fed gruel. I think I'm going to try raggy, but I don't see how that would be Legion fed. Anyway, let's go ahead and check that. No, let's reveal it. Mangy. All right. Many, of course, is Legion. Yeah, of course. And then we get mangy with the G in it. Ooh, so now our salt, pocketing black, book. What book is that with B something M? Oh, of course, an album. And so alum, I think, is an actual salt. Was not expecting that. Okay, our thin piece now. That's served up. I finish off in bites. What is that word? Spillican or I think there is some word at the back of my mind. Maybe for a strip of food or something. That's served up. But what's I finish? Excuse me, I finish off in bites. I mean, maybe that I is part of I finish off. I kill. Ooh, yes, maybe, maybe. Yeah, think I think it might be kill I, like I finish off. Is that it? Or maybe there's an I there in bites. I'm going to guess Billiken, but complete guess. Let's check it. Aha, it is right. I must know that word, but I didn't know that I knew it, if that makes sense. So I think I kill is I finish off, which is served up inside of spin. Oh, which is also backwards. Nips, bites is nips. All right, so I do see that now. I just don't really remember what a spillican is. It's not a thin flag, is it? Anyway, here's our funny ending. L something L. Wow. I'm thinking has to be AL. March, slightly lacking in recollection of spring for comparison. Yeah, let me pause and think about what letter might go in there. Ah, it's not AL at the end, it is EL. It's parallel, but I don't quite get the wordplay. I think March, is that parade? Perhaps slightly lacking in recollection of. No, because spring is leap. March is a rally, which is lacking its Y, and it's in leap for spring backwards. All right. Goodness gracious. All right. Line in a report that's out. I don't remember always having this much trouble with Paul. Has he got harder or just I've fallen off his wavelength? But he has had, I think, some very tricky clues today. Of course, it is Friday, so that is perfectly appropriate. All right, line in a report. Yeah, report can be a loud noise, but it can also obviously be well, it could be a news report, it could be a report you prepare. Let me just look at my hanging head in embarrassment, going places earlier. Oh, couple of thoughts. One is that maybe you think of a word for embarrassment and remove its first letter, hanging head, or does hanging its head mean you bring the. Well, I would think hanging it would make it go higher, but obviously if it's already the head. And then the other thing I'm wondering if it's a word for going places that was used long ago. It's an archaic word earlier, but I can just think of something like goest. But what would embarrassment be? No. Yeah, I think I'm just going to, well, let me give up on 19 across and see if that lets me get 20 down. Let's reveal that one. A bloom. Oh my goodness, if the flowers are out, they are a bloom, and a report is a loud noise, a boom. All right, and that's, where the L did go there. So, going places earlier. Maybe it's a word that means hanging, and the head in No, again, going places earlier. I was going to say you move it several places earlier, but embarrassment. Oh, going places. Maybe they're places you go, as in toilets, and it's earlier. Ah, yes. So I think if things are hanging, they might be loose. So the head in embarrassment is an E. I should have thought of that. And before, earlier than the E, you have the going places. Wow. All right. Now our plant saving fuel. Just thinking there are many words I think that would fit here. Selected comes to mind. Rejected. None of those really mean anything to do with plant saving fuel. Can I think of any? Oh, well, I did think of peat earlier. Great Irish fuel. Always loved the turf briquettes. So maybe repeated. I don't know. Let's check it. It is right. That's a bit of a miracle. Why though? The plant is a reed. All right. But what is the other plant-saving fuel? No, I don't get it. Oh, I suppose since peat, I don't know. No, I was going to, again, just because it is decayed vegetation, is my understanding. Um, I don't know about that. Anyway, let's go ahead, check all, confirm. Everything else still there. All right, let's see what they're saying over at 15 squared. All right, the blog today is by Andrew, and I'm very happy to see he says, I didn't seem to be on the right wavelength at all this morning, found this quite hard. Though in retrospect, almost everything seems reasonably straightforward. With yeah, there's even one clue he can't explain. Well, there were many clues I could not. Doorstep, yeah, just double definition, piece of bread. Um, Pete in Reed. Oh, of course. Yeah, it's just as obvious as that. That plant saving fuel is repeated. Oh my goodness. Yeah, goodness gracious me. All right, on the dance, yeah. The chef Roux, his first name is Michel, and trains when cooking is in star, and it's an andlet. Oh, okay, that is very clever. Now I get it. Yeah, I think I didn't. I'd heard of this guy Roux, but I didn't know his first name. Could have guessed it, of course. Odds, yeah. CAC are the odd letters of chance. Tricky one. C and double, yeah. Anagram of left-right angularity, not a word I think I've ever come across. And the repetition, well, yeah, of angular in answer and fodder makes this one rather weak, I'd say. I agree with Andrew on that. Entrained is an anagram of 10 plus, yeah, came down. And a spillican. Yes, I used to love playing pickup sticks. I'd forgotten it was also called spillikins. I think we had some generic version just called pickup sticks from what I can remember. I think we had ones maybe that were shaped like swords. Does anyone remember pickup sticks with little plastic swords? Or maybe they were just cocktail sticks that we stole from our parents, now that I think about it. All right, lose, yeah, blah, 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 blah. I originally had Bible here. Oh my goodness. Andrew, I think, might be my long lost twin. What was the one he couldn't understand or explain? I'm interested to see. Oh, cock-a-doodle-doo. Oh, yeah, I never thought about the cross-party talks. Yeah, sorry, I completely jumped over that. I couldn't explain it either. Yeah, there are two do's. Or a crowing cock is a cross-party. Yeah, I was too busy telling my Dear Abby story. Cross party, how is cocker doodle do? Ugh, then talks makes it a homophone. My goodness, well done, Crispy. Yeah, I'm not going to waste any more of my time doing Paul's puzzles. Wow. Hang in there, Muffin. Yeah, I definitely understand the impulse to give up, but you know, yeah, keep at it, and some days you have good ones, and other days, excuse me, are like today. Well, well done to John W. Completed it. I did not. All right, well, I made it to the end, and I hope I didn't waste your time today with all of my nonsense. Anyway, thanks as always for watching. Have a great day and a great weekend.